Hello there, Pisces, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new to my channel, I certainly appreciate both your viewership as well as your subscriptions, okay? So today what I'd like to do is to give you a sex reading, okay? And we're going to see what messages Spirit has for you, and we're going to make this reading valid until the end of June to give you some time with which to work with the energies, okay? I'm going to start off by sharing with you what I'm seeing as the overarching theme. Then we're going to just revisit your past to see what might transpire. And then we'll fast forward to your present, okay? And then I'll share with you what I'm seeing as potential challenges or pitfall that might impede success, okay? And after giving you that, then I'm going to provide you with practical advice. Of course, if you follow, it certainly will lead you to your highest good. All right. And then I'm going to share with you what I'm seeing that's hidden, of which you may not be cognizant of this time. Okay. And then I'll share with you a potential outcome should you continue on as you are. All right. Rest assured, ladies and gentlemen, that this is a general reading, and as such, it certainly will not and may not resonate with each and every one of you out there. But for those for whom this reading is meant, I certainly hope that it offers you the valuable insight that you're seeking so you can make your best informed judgments, okay? So with that said, let's just go on and just dive right on deeply into your reading here. And I'm going to start again by just sharing with you what I'm seeing as the prevailing or overarching theme, what the reading really is all about here. And then we'll just move from there, okay? So let's see what we have here, okay? All right. Wow. So, ladies and gentlemen, you have the devil, okay? You have, ladies and gentlemen, as well, you have the death card here. We're gonna just put this at the bottom here because this is more, excuse me, of the last card that I'm selecting here. So I'll put this here, the devil. Okay. Next, ladies and gentlemen, we have the Seven of Cups here. And let's go on and just select one more number here. One more card here just to see what it is that Spirit, or fully understand exactly what your reading is saying or what it's about here. Okay. All right. So let's start off here by examining, ladies and gentlemen, your center card here, or the card that seems to be providing urgency for me to explain what it entails here. We have the Seven of Waters, okay? And of course that represents a water sign. So some of you might have dealt with or might still be dealing with a water sign, okay? So I'm seeing here that many of you, it seems with this card, you have too many irons in the fire, I'm getting, and you really don't know what direction to take, I'm kind of getting. I feel that many of you are certainly being very unrealistic, and you need to perhaps consider, ladies and gentlemen, narrowing your choices, okay? I feel that you are certainly daydreaming a lot. And of course, when you look at the presence here, you have this devil card. So this is uh, Capricorn energy here. It shows a lot of temptation surrounding you, a lot of toxic type situations to include drug usage, okay, and different awkward positions with sex and all of those different types of things here. So I'm seeing that it seems that you, like I said, you're daydreaming a lot, and I'm seeing someone who appears, again, very addicted to having sex, and this includes having multiple partners here, okay? I see someone very intense and wild here that I'm seeing here. Someone who loves to, excuse me, even like record his or her sexual acts, that he or she has had with people. Okay? So spirit wants you to kind of control your emotions, okay? Because I'm seeing a lot of, once again, fantasies, sexual books, even porno videos here, okay? So I'm kind of feeling perhaps some of you might really want to kind of fully explore your sexual desires, but you're not sure how to proceed or how to express it to your partner here that I'm getting. Spirit certainly wants you to stop daydreaming and to at least be a bit more realistic when it comes to your situation here. And then you have the Knight of Earth here, ladies and gentlemen. So that represents an Earth sign, of course. So with that card, you can see that this knight is not moving. This is the slowest knight in the deck, okay? So that tells me that the person with whom you are seeing is certainly not flashy. Okay, this person is very slow paced, and many of you feel he or she is. You might be feeling he or she is taking too long, or the relationship that you have is just taking a bit too long to develop here. Because this person, like I said, is does everything slowly, a very slow paced type person. So if you are an impatient person, this certainly wouldn't be the person for you here. Okay, and I feel like this person might even to you be a bit boring sexually, because sex seems to be the last thing on his or her mind. And if you are waiting to get married or, to have a serious commitment, understand that you'll have to be patient. I have to stress that. If you really want him or her, okay? But, he does have good qualities, despite everything, despite his or her slowness. He or she is or seeks stability. That's what this person wants here. And that's why, and this person doesn't become comfortable until he or she has attained that. This could represent you or someone with whom you're dealing. Okay? And then we have the death card here. Okay? So that represents the Scorpio. So with this card, it appears that some of you might be clinging to the past a little bit too heavily, and you need to consider going in a different direction. Okay? You follow me? Pisces, if this reading is resonating, please be sure to give it a big thumbs up, share it with others to whom you think might benefit, and be sure to press that subscription button, okay? I feel that many of you have certainly outgrown a situation. I'm really not seeing sex here. Excuse me. Sex or even having a desire. Because there appears to be maybe an erection or sexual type issue or menopause that some of you might be kind of experiencing here that I'm getting. And for many of you, I see you really ending a relationship that's been causing havoc or a sexual situation, if you will. Okay? If particularly if you feel that your situation is certainly unsalvageable. Understand that it's certainly time to welcome change here and to embrace new opportunities. This seems to be the direction of what your reading is kind of telling you here. Okay? So now let's just take a step back and just revisit your past here and just see what Spirit is saying when it comes to your past. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, you have the priest here. Okay? So with having that card, of course, that represents the Taurus. What I'm seeing here that in the past, it looks like you or another, it looks like you seriously contemplated marriage, you know, and you felt the best path to take was to do things more traditional, like a traditional type way of doing things. I'm kind of getting, okay? And some of you might even have wanted to kind of get married before even having sex, I feel here. Okay, that's another possibility. I feel that many of you certainly made every attempt to communicate at a deep soul level. Okay, and I feel that someone appears to have been very lazy and perhaps maybe like watching others have sex or wanted you to follow rules in some way. I'm getting a very, 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 and I have to stress this, a lazy person it appears here. I'm getting. Okay? So now that you've kind of successfully come through the past here, let's go on and just see what's here in your present. We have the Three of Waters. So with having that card, I kind of see a lot of invitations and parties and reunions and things of that nature coming your way. And I feel that many of you might even meet a new person through a friend. And some of you might even discover a third party has certainly wedged him or herself into your relationship. You might already know that this is happening here. Okay? However, I do see mutual fulfillment. Okay? You and another seem to be at par with one another. And sex at presently seems to be fulfilling. But keep in mind, I have to stress is that this person is dealing with another despite the entertainment and fun that you find yourself having. Okay? So again, Spirit wants you to be realistic and to trust your intuitive faculties. All right? Let's see what potential challenges might crop up. Okay? That might impede success. Okay, we have the Emperor. And that card represents, ladies and gentlemen, an Aries. Okay? You could be challenged by this person, an Aries, or just dealing with someone who might not be able to ejaculate, or just challenged by being dominated. Either you're doing it to yourself, you're doing it to another, or they're doing it to you. Or someone may not have any, one of you may have a desire to have kids while the other doesn't. Okay? Or just simply Pisces being very, very, excuse me, being very, very inflexible here, not able to kind of compromise things, okay? Or just being too bossy, or just abusing your power in somewhere here, okay? Once again, Pisces, if this reading resonates, be sure to give it a big thumbs up. Share it with others to whom you think might benefit, and be sure to press that subscription button, okay? So let's go on and just give you some practical advice here. We have the One of Earth here. So, of course, that represents an Earth sign. And this card is showing me a very upsurge of energy, okay? It's showing me that you're certainly going to be embracing a new beginning. New love is certainly coming, or you might decide to improve an existing situation here. Okay, so certainly sexual pleasure and fulfillment surround you here. So let's go on and see what's hidden. All right. Wow. I expected this card, the Lovers here. So that represents some air signs. So what's hidden is that you're going to have to make an important decision. It seems between two or more. Okay. And as an outcome here, we have, ladies and gentlemen, the Empress. And that card represents an Aries. So Spirit wants you to be courageous, take a risk, and trust your intuition. And to stay centered and balanced moving forward. So with that said, Pisces, this is your reading. I certainly hope that it is all for food for thought. Be sure to like and share, subscribe if you've yet to subscribe, and should anyone wishes to have a more personalized reading, you can certainly access my website to schedule and or to purchase. Thanks so much for your time.